Tucked away in a blue shoebox at my father's house is a note my 9-year-old self wrote detailing the many reasons I wanted to die. I have bipolar disorder. I developed my first symptoms of depression when I was only 9 years old. For the longest time, I didn't get treatment. And for the longest time after that, the treatments I got didn't work. I tried a million different medications, talk therapy, and still the depression came back. I was able to make it to the middle of college, nursing school, and a concurrent psychology degree before hitting a wall. The inconsistencies in my cycling mood and cognitive abilities and energy finally caught up with me and required me to leave college. Who knew that in the end it would be a TV detective who cured me of this depression? I would tell you more about growing up with early onset bipolar disorder, except that I don't remember it. I received electroconvulsive therapy for over 2 years. Effectively, I was given seizures under medical supervision to hopefully reset the depressed parts of my brain. And a side effect of this treatment is memory loss. So I don't remember anything between around 8th grade in 2004 and age 25 in 2015. So you see, it's hard for me to tell you a story when I myself rely mostly on my own old journals and other people's stories to tell me where I've been. I experienced the loss of these memories as if I had died. I didn't know anybody who could relate to the parts of my story I most needed support around. I didn't think that anybody understood. I didn't know how to form relationships because effectively I had never dated, I had never kissed a boy, I had never grown a friendship from the bottom up. I had lost all of the formative experiences in growing up. So instead, I'll tell you a story I do know. And that story is about PTSD. I have bipolar disorder, but I also have PTSD. And I didn't even know it. I was victimized by those who were supposed to keep me safe. I was told I was a manipulative and attention-seeking person. I was told that I was a bad and spiteful person, and I believed them. I believed and had circulating thoughts that I was weak and broken. I believed I was the biggest disappointment my family had ever had. Like an eternal hamster wheel in my mind, these thoughts just turned over. Only when they were done, I was lost. I had no identity. I wrote in my journal, "You distance yourself in an attempt to escape. The only way to survive. The show is so good that nobody realizes you're just an actor in some very realistic horror film. You are an excellent actor. You lie even better when you're in pain and when you let go of everything. And then all that's left is a mask. And then it's not even a mask anymore, because that implies that something else lies beneath." I swam in guilt and shame every day and contemplated suicide. I thought that I just had to get over it and move on, that the things that they had done to me were my fault, that I'd asked for it. I wrote, "I guess I have already accepted that I will die. I know that a large part of my soul has already died, and now another piece is shriveling and blowing away like dust. I try to convince myself that I'm not weak. It's not my fault, they say, not my fault that I am broken. I don't want to choose between being weak and being broken. Both lead to death." So there I am on the couch at my father's house, just a hop, skip, and a jump away from that closeted suicide note written at 9. Who would have thought that the epiphany that shifted all of my views on reality would come while sitting on my rear on a couch, eating a bowl of popcorn in my pajamas? Law and Order Special Victims Unit, to be exact. Lieutenant Olivia Benson, I owe my life to you. I don't even remember exactly what she said. And I'm not a victim of rape. It's many people's story, but it's not mine. Still, the words she said spoke to me. All of a sudden, I was aware that I was a victim and that I had been allowing my experience to completely control my entire world. For months, her words percolated in my brain, and I began to form new views. My therapist and my psychiatrist helped me with this. And I'm sure that they wondered why it had never been enough for them to tell me that I had PTSD. But I am equally sure to assure them that they set the stage, and that show is just the last shove. I tell my story because my life is much different now. For the first time since 2014, I'm holding a full-time job. It will be a year in January. I'm very much excited about my work anniversary. Thank you. I've found reasons to live for myself when before I was living purely to satisfy those people around me. I was just yesterday reminded that my relationship skills had vastly improved. I was talking with a coworker who also happens to have bipolar disorder, and after teasing each other about our shared illness, he says, "Dude, we have the same dysfunctions." And suddenly these experiences that had been separating me from everyone were connecting me to other people. I'm still sometimes bothered by suicidal thoughts and shame and doubt and anxiety and all of the other things. But most of the time I feel empowered. A wash of emotion still comes over me when I think about the people that hurt me. I feel immense anger. I feel grief at the thought of the life I could have had if they had not interfered. But when I tell my story, I feel vindicated. And I no longer think that I just have to get over it and move on. These experiences changed me. They will always be part of my story. Instead, I can use them. I can do talks like these. I can build new memories. And I remember already that I am strong, I am whole, and I will never be broken.